Before I even begin, I need to reiterate to YouTube that I am not advocating for the selling of guns. I am not linking to the selling of any firearms. I am not providing any resources to buy firearms. I am solely talking about analytics as far as rates and how often guns are being sold and the curiosity that people have towards how to buy a firearm. Now let's get into the video. I want to say thank you to Max and I want to say thank you to Aaron from my Patreon who have chosen to support me, and I appreciate that immensely. Having people that are willing to financially support the channel helps keep me going, helps me be able to do things that provide content to you that I wouldn't elsewise be able to do. And I'm very, very thankful for that opportunity. I hope that you continue to enjoy the content, and I hope that I can continue to provide value to you. Thank you to everyone that supports the channel through liking, commenting, subscribing, and thank you to everyone that's a part of the Patreon. Y'all mean the world to me. Let's get into it. In the state of California and nationwide, during the whole end of the world that we experienced, maybe, started in March, it seems as if we saw what was an unbreakable, unbeatable record number of gun sales. Now, most of the time that information is gathered from NICS background checks, so the National Instant Check System. It generally pans out to at least one firearm per sale. It's not the best way to market or to watch how many guns are being sold, because in some states, if you have a concealed carry permit, you don't actually need to fill out and perform a background check. The concealed carry permit is your background check. But for the most part, it's a pretty good way to track gun sale totals nationwide. Now, I have been on YouTube for a while when it comes to California gun laws, and in 2019, at the end of 2019, I made a video for 2020 on how to buy a gun in California. This is, in my opinion, when I look at the analytics, an excellent way to track the general interest in how to buy guns or gun sales, because it generally correlates to the more people searching it, the more people Google searching how to do something, the more people that are generally gonna go do that thing. So I want to show you the analytics from my video, from the lifetime of its video, performance from early December all the way into the beginning of June, which is right now. And it is something that is going to surprise you, because I thought that I saw the peak and that I would never touch that number again on that video in middle to late March, but it seems as if we have completely blown that out of the water in just a matter of days. So right here, what I'm showing you is the analytic report from my How to Buy a Gun in California 2020 video explained. So the day it was first published, all these informations are delayed a day, so I don't actually have today's values necessarily in this report, but I can show you those in a second. So this report is delayed by a day. So in the first day that it was made, I got 686 views on that first day. Went down to 200 the next day, hundreds, so I'm averaging, about anywhere from almost 100. It tapers off and it hits a low point of 73 on December 24th. Then it hits a small peak at the end of December of 800 in a single day, which is interesting. And it kind of then tapers down back to around 200 a day, where it stays pretty stable except for one small blip right around here. And we then continue on at around 200 per day. And then it's growing a little bit, and I think that's just because the video got a little bit bigger, and as a video gets more traction, that tends to snowball effect into it. Also consider the fact that this channel was growing consistently at the time, and I think at the beginning of March, I had around 6,000 subscribers. By the time it hits here, we are at March 11th. This was right around the time when people were getting concerned. Many people were starting to have to work from home or being sent home from work. And then we reach full-blown outbreak mode, and it hits a peak of 2,300 views in a single day after climbing from 500 to 800 to 1,000 to 1,300, 15, 2,000, and we hit a peak of 2,340. That was on March 19th, the height of everybody being scared. They thought martial law was coming. They thought the end of the world was here. And then it tapers off, which was to be expected. Many people that were interested, that would be interested because of the current events that were happening in that time, they already went out, they figured it out, and they did it. And then there were some stragglers here and there, as you see by it slowly tapering out. But you got to keep in mind, the reason I think these stayed as high as it did over here in the 1,000 range was because the channel in general was skyrocketing in size. I've now hit 36,000. So from around middle of March, early March, I was at maybe 6,000 subscribers. I then hit 3,600 by the end of May. So a lot more people were seeing the channel, and I think that's the reason why this was staying so high in the 1,000 range. But then let's go to the last 7 days. What has happened here? So we had been stabilizing, as we saw in the, we can look at a 28, let's look at a 28-day report. For the last month, we have been pretty steady at around 600 a day with a small peak of 700, but basically averaging 600 views per day. And then it jumps up to 3,400 from when it's at 600 on March 27th, it then immediately skyrockets. And we wonder why. Well, that would be entirely because everybody is worried about the current unrest of what's going on. So to yesterday on June 1st, we had 3,400 views in a single day. And if we look at the chart of the lifetime of this video, the previous highest peak, which I thought was as big as it possibly could have gotten, was 2,300. And that was a slow buildup from several days to get up to that point. This went from 700 to 800, which is a pretty reasonable, normal number, to boom, within 3 days, we had 3,400 in a single day. So let's go back to the 7-day report and see what's going on. This is showing no signs of slowing. I think today is going to be about the same amount. So on June 2nd, we're going to see about 3,400 to 3,500, if not more. We're already met that for the day. I believe by the time this day finishes, we're going to have significantly more. So what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to talk about here is right now what is important. We have a massive influx of people who are not trusting the government to protect them, realizing that guns are important. I have had friends that are absolute diehard Bernie bros, still wishing that Bernie would win the election. They are interested in guns and they are going out of their way and texting me saying, hey, how do I get a gun? Which, you've come to the right place. I do send them the video, but ultimately I will help them a little bit more. So what do we do? How do we walk through the next steps? What is it that gun owners need to do from here? Well, I think it's our responsibility, and you don't necessarily have to do this because ultimately you're a free American and you can do as you please, but I think it's your responsibility to educate people. I've tried to provide resources for people and having a backlog of videos of how to legally and safely and responsibly own firearms, but a video on YouTube can only go so far. So what I'm asking you to do is reach out to your community, reach out to the people that you know personally, and see how you can help them become safe, responsible gun owners. We want people to realize the importance of firearms. Having the best tools to defend yourself is important. I don't want people to be unarmed when they could potentially need to be armed. This has nothing to do necessarily, in my mind, with current events. Guns in general, in my mind, have always been important. Many people didn't always see why it could have been important. And unfortunately, it's taken till now because these people that are buying guns and looking up how to buy a gun today, best case scenario, they're going to be getting their guns in 10 to 20 days. The lines that I have seen outside of gun shops from Instagram and whatnot has been absolutely unreal. My favorite shop, Illmanor Gunrunner 707 on Instagram, he is Sportsman's Arms in Petaluma, not Sportsman's Warehouse, Sportsman's Arms. He said that there was a 3-hour wait for people today. That is insane. The amount of people that are going out and needing guns, absolutely wild. I don't know how to put this into terms that you can understand, but people are afraid, and it's our job to teach them and guide them. I'm not saying that we need to take advantage of that fear, but we need to get them to a place where they are safe, they are comfortable, and what they can do can be prepared for it. Owning a gun is not a talisman to ward off any potential threat. Owning a gun is a responsibility that people need to be ready for. So if you have any questions, let's drop a comment down below. If there is anything that you're confused about, if you're curious on how you can potentially help people, let's drop comments down below. If there are videos that you have seen specifically, I know that Mr. Guns and Gear has done a lot of great videos for first-time gun buyers and how to actually operate and manipulate certain guns. If there are specific videos that you've seen online that you think are particularly helpful, please drop a comment down below and let's have those conversations. If you have any questions, drop a comment down below. As always, have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace. I love you. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for the support. The channel has blown up lately, and I'm so happy to be in a position where I'm able to influence people. I really hate the word influencer, and I try to separate myself from that. I want us to be more than that. I want our community to be strong, and I want us to collectively help people. Thank you.